Good morning, my name is Amy. Welcome to Home Sweet Gardens. This is July 24th, 2020. It's the 13th garden tour of the season. It's getting to be so many I can't keep track of what week it is. I am in Northwest Missouri growing zone 6A. This week I'm going to go through it's not going to be a very long tour. I'll highlight some of the plants that are doing well. Some I've got left, some are dwindling to the end, and I've had a few losses as well, so we'll talk about that a little bit, and then where I plan on putting the next round of plants for my fall garden. So as usual, welcome. If you're new, thanks for joining us. If you like the video, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. I put a garden tour video up once a week, and I try to do other informational type videos as well, intermittently. Okay, so my lettuce, this would have been the Little Gem lettuce, has gone to seed. Okay. All of these little bitty flowers will produce seed, which I will then collect and then be able to use to go ahead and plant more lettuce next year. This is my dragon tongue beans that I planted. They're doing really well. There's a little bit of some pest activity, but it's not too bad as at this point. I started pulling some weeds last night, but I ran out of daylight. My sunflower, oh, isn't that beautiful? Like, that thing is just beginning to be a beast. My carrots, they are still, the flowers are still doing well. These, they're starting to turn to seed. You can see these are starting to brown up. Those are all going to be seeds, so I'm going to be cutting those off here pretty quick so I can save those seeds. My purple queen bush beans, they're getting towards the end of their cycle, still producing a lot. I just cannot believe how prolific these plants are. So yeah, I will definitely be planting them again. My rose bushes, look at that. Aren't they just beautiful? If you heard that little scurry, that was a bat that happened to be, let's see if I can get a picture of him, because I think he's still in there. Right up there. I don't know if I'll be able to get you close enough. You see that little hole right there? He was outside of there. And he heard my voice, and all of a sudden I heard the scrambling. It's funny. Bats are cool. Anyway, lots of buds on it. Doing very well. Need to put some fertilizer on it. A couple of buds on this one here. And then look at that big, beautiful pink bloom. It's absolutely gorgeous. Oh, it smells delicious. So my grapes are in full production here. I picked some yesterday and set them on the windowsill to see if they would ripen, because as you can tell, they're starting to ripen. So this is what's going to happen, and then I'll end up losing them because something comes and eats them. And I'm bound and determined to get some stinking grapes this year. So far, the one or two that have ripened enough for me to eat them have been very, very good. But I don't know that I'll get very many. And they're not very big, so, but that's okay. But they're delicious. Brussels sprouts, doing well. You can see the little heads are starting to form on them. If you notice, there's a common theme in this garden right now, and it's called weeds. And I don't know about you, but this is the time of year that they start to take over, and I start to feel overwhelmed and almost like I want to give up. But I won't. But I've kind of come to terms with it and known that there's just always going to be some weeds. It's just the way it's going to be. Here's a volunteer vine of some sort. I don't really know yet what it is. It's some kind of, it's not a cucumber. I'm not sure what it is because the fruits aren't quite big enough yet. But there's flowers all over it. I'm not exactly sure what it is. Do you see that little yellow thing that right there? That is what's called a cucumber beetle. And that is what has been the death of my garden this year. So here's my beautiful butternut squash plant. As you can see, the trellis is really quite bare. A lot more bare from last week. That would be because I have lost 3 of them. This is the last one I have. I lost the one over there, right there, and then I have lost these 2 down here to cucumber wilt or vine borers or something. So I have since replanted. I do have enough time. Supposed to have enough time now. Whether the weather will cooperate or not, I'm not sure. But I am just, it's gotten to the point to where every time I don't want to come down the garden because I don't want to see what plant has died next. But sometimes that is what happens. But I do have some beautiful butternut squash on this plant, so I'm really hoping I don't lose it. There's the one. Remember we talked about the pantyhose and holding up the fruit. As you can see, it's really, really stretching. I don't know if this is going to be enough. It's already starting to run. I may have to get a bigger piece of pantyhose and put it on there. I don't know. But that's these specific plants, butternut squash. They look more gourdy than the other ones. So, but they're beautiful nonetheless. I planted more of the traditional Waltham. So hopefully when they come up I'll get some more. No, cross your fingers. My bell pepper plants are doing well. I've gotten some off of them. They're starting their next set, next round. Some peppers. My okra I have gone through and trimmed up. I don't know that you're supposed to do that. I really am not sure. But I kind of had to because there was no way for the plant to get any sun because it was so, I planted them so close together that I had to. But they seem to actually be doing really well, and I've got several okra on them. So I'll probably plant this again next year just because it's a pretty plant. But I definitely won't plant 6, and we'll definitely not plant them this close together again. All right, the exciting thing, Asian long beans. They are just the most amazing plants. I love them. Look at this. The way they hang down, they're just beautiful. Prolific. I've already gotten several. You can let them get a lot bigger than this. I like them smaller just because they're more tender. And I have found that I actually like them raw. So this is something I definitely will plant again next year. And for those of you that are doing Asian long beans and have never planted them before, ants. They have to have ants. Ants are what pollinate them. I didn't know that when I was, let's see if I can get a picture. Show you here. All the little busy little ants on here. There we go. See them? Yep. So basically what happens is the ants are what pollinate it. So when you plant Asian lung beans, you will have ants. They're not the biting kind. They're just the little crawling kind, which ants in the garden aren't really a bad thing anyway. But just to give you a heads up, because I thought, oh no, what's going on? Okay. Kohlrabi is pretty much done. I'll be pulling the rest of these up, and then I'll be replanting some kohlrabi, probably in a different spot, but I'll probably put some radishes and some beets and that kinds of things in. I may put them in that area. Cucumbers, they're doing well, producing. I've gotten quite a few. These are the pickling cucumbers, so you don't want them to get very large. So like that one right there is actually a little bit bigger than what you would want for pickling. They're funny shaped too. I don't know. That one would be about the biggest of the size that you would want for a pickling cucumber. Typically you'd make them a little bit smaller, or pick them, I'm sorry, a little smaller. My eggplant, eggplant is funny. It always takes forever to do anything. It always seems like, great, I'm not going to get any eggplant. And then you come out and you see that. And that shows that you're going to be getting some eggplant. Yay! Okay, so you notice that there's this big bare spot all through here. That would be because I lost both zucchini and one squash plant. And as you can tell, I'm getting ready to lose my last one. For some reason, these squash bugs have been horrendous this year for me. I don't know what is going on or why it's happening. I mean, I've always had squash bugs and I've always had to battle them, but I've never had it to this amount of destruction. So I really don't know if I've done something wrong or I've done the same thing I've done every year. So, but I'm going to replant inside some different areas, some more zucchini and squash, and hopefully I will get some. Check this out. This is why I love the okra plant. Not beautiful. Such beautiful flowers. Say hi, Kiki. Kitty. She's such a funny cat. She's a typical cat. She wants attention when she wants it. Alright, so here's my climbing rose, my wildflowers. I put some cucumber in here on both sides of this, 2 on each side. So when they start climbing up, they'll climb up over the trellis. I put some straight 8s so I can have some slicer cucumbers. My Roselle Reds, elephant ears, my mammoth sunflowers, and my little gem corn. And my poor pear tree. Oh my gosh. It's just so loaded. So loaded with pears. Poor thing. that concludes this week's garden tour. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed making it. I hope you learned something. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, be healthy, be safe, and happy gardening.